more of our health care with our own money at a much lower cost. Tort reform. Keep doctors in the treatment rooms and the operating rooms rather than in the courtrooms. Competition. Make the insurance providers have to earn our business. Make it portable from job to job and state to state. Let's keep insurance providers unable to deny coverage based on pre-existing conditions. I think that's a great thing. Let's let 26-year-olds stay on their family's insurance, and let's stop the $716 billion cut to Medicare that's going to hurt seniors.
Same question, Mr. Wilson.
I believe that there are lots of good things in the Affordable Health Care Act. One of the things that my opponent says, Bill Johnson always says there are things in it that would really be good. Well, Bill, I didn't have a chance to vote for half the bill. I had to vote for all of it or none of it. And I can tell you that there are lots of people in this district that are benefiting from it. Children of 26 years old can stay on their parents' insurance. That's especially important to people that are in school or just out of school into the job market. The tort reform that needs to be done so that doctors can tend to their patients and not be in ordering additional tests and so on to cover themselves for any exposure of liability. And I think that the whole opportunity of starting somewhere on something that we can do to get a handle on our health care, I believe is an important issue and one that has been upheld by the Supreme Court.
This question is for Commissioner Gentile. What is your position on establishing policies to encourage local skilled labor on county construction projects?
Local skilled labor on county construction projects? First of all, if they're a prevailing wage job, which a lot of times they are, then local labor would qualify. As far as I've been asked by the trade unions to guarantee that I would sign bid criteria. My opponent promised that. That would force all county jobs to go to the trade unions, which is a great thing. I don't feel it's my job to force that. I've looked at it. I won't make that commitment. So if that's what you're getting at, I know my opponent did commit to that, and I won't. He went to the trade unions, promised them that. They said to me, it's very simple. You'll get our endorsement if you promise that. He went there, promised them that, and he got endorsed by the trade unions. I want to see all local people getting these jobs. I fight it all the time with the oil and gas companies. We want to see local people work.
This is a labor question on the state level. This is for Lou Gentile. What is your position on establishing Ohio as a right-to-work state?
I am opposed to making a right-to-work state. In my judgment, it will ensue a race to the bottom. I think, and lower wages for both union and non workers. We've seen it in other states. There's data to reflect that. And so I was opposed to Senate Bill 5. I thought that was an unfair attack on our workers. I led the charge against it, and I'm proud of that. I think that was unfair. The people in the state of Ohio and in my district soundly rejected that, and I believe they'll do the same with the right to work.
Okay, this, again, with the permission of the moderator, this question is for the county commissioner candidates. All four of them. And I think we'll start with Commissioner Gentile because that's where we've been starting. What, if anything, will you do about the Apex dump issues?
We did something today. We would not take action on their bond restructuring. I bring this up every opportunity I can. I have personally called the Ohio EPA on many occasions. I've talked to the deputy director that's in charge of solid waste. At my urging, she finally got people out there, not for one quick visit. They actually stayed in our community, stayed in Jefferson County, and realize that it isn't an intermittent problem. It's a problem that is constant, but depending on where the wind is shifting, depends on where it is, because they've been alleging that it's an intermittent problem. I've been working with the citizens groups out there, been working with the Ohio EPA, and it was because of some of those calls, some of that action, that they're starting to take action.
Let's just go right down the line. Okay. What we did today, and it has been a frustrating issue for many, many folks out there, and we understand that. What is not well understood is the county commissioners have absolutely no authority to do anything with that situation. So what we do is we become the opportunity for people to sound off. We send letters, we write phone calls, we meet with EPA, we do whatever we can to help be a voice of the people that are out there, but we have no authority to shut that place down. Today, they came and asked us to do something that would benefit the company significantly by refinancing their bonds. County commissioners have to play a role in that and approve it. What we asked them to do is, if that is going to happen, that obviously creates revenue for that company. And until that company commits that revenue to new capital that's going to actually be put to use for that problem, we're not going to support them in helping refinance that funding. So it's the first time we've had an opportunity to actually have a decision that plays into, hopefully, some improvements out there.
Thank you, Commissioner Mays.
With the Apex landfill, I can agree with what Dave Maple was saying, that is not regulated at the Commissioner's office. It is regulated by the Ohio EPA, and that would be a very frustrating position to be in. However, although they did not take action today on allowing the bond reissue, there is another route that the company that will more than likely take, and they will refinance their bonds. Again, I think it's about communication with the owners of the Apex landfill. It does not just affect the people in Amsterdam and Richmond and Bergold. The train stops for passing through the Brilliant station, and that railroad train can sit there for a long period of time. It's a nuisance to several communities right here in our county, and I think that what needs done is just more of a voice for the people, how upsetting it really is that you can't have a family barbecue, you can't go on your deck, and sometimes they can't even stay in their house because the stench comes through the vents. It's a very frustrating thing, and it's a very tough situation.
Mr. Hookler.
They always say knowledge is power. They closed my landfill. I've been smelling that landfill for 5 years. The smell has lessened. It's lessened because they have taken the garbage and not have taken as much waste in as they normally have been doing. Now, for 5 or 6 years, the two commissioners have a right to do a lot of things. The first thing is you get a hold of the health department, and it becomes a nuisance. And under a nuisance, you get the federal government involved also, and your state legislator, and you stop what's going on. We are a garbage can. The two landfills take in 70% of all the out-of-state garbage that comes into the state of Ohio is in Jefferson County. Let's take some down to Belmont County. Let's take some down to Athens. Let's take some to Columbus. I know the answers, and that's what they're afraid of. Thank you.
Okay, this question is from Mr. Wilson. I am a small business owner. Why has health care for me gone up 40%?
Would you repeat the question, please?
I am a small business owner. Why has health care for me gone up 40%?
Healthcare prices have been going up. I don't know that it's gone up 40% since the Affordable Act was passed. I know that prices have been going between 8 and 10% almost annually, and some way it has to be there has to get a handle on it. I don't know why it has. Is there something that you can attribute that to? In other words, is it something that we have an example of what's on 40%? To my knowledge, it has not. As a small business person, mine has not.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson.
Continuing on with the Ohio 6 congressional district candidates, and again, if time allows, I'd like to hear from both of them on this question from the constituents. Ohio 6 is a beast of a district. I did Google Maps on it once. It's a 5-hour drive from where Athens to out of city limits of Youngstown. It's a huge district. Spending time in Washington, how do you manage the constituency, and how do you keep in touch with the constituency? in a district like that?
First of all, that previous answer just goes to prove that Washington is not smarter than the people of the 6th District of Ohio. Healthcare costs are going up for businesses, like 40% of businesses across America are saying that they are, is because of the healthcare law, the rising costs, the $716 billion that came out of Medicare. Those are what are driving healthcare costs up. How do you navigate this district? You work it, Eric. We leave the house sometimes 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. It's 6.5 hours from one end of this district to the other. I spend hours and hours in the car going from place to place. To get to places like Steubenville, where we work the Section 8 housing problem. To get to places like Bel Air, where we got the GSA to turn over the armory so that they could create small businesses and create jobs there. Where we go out to the coal miners. You know, most of the people in this district, you don't see coal miners and steel workers that wear ties.
Thanks,
You got to get out and work it.
Eric, it's very challenging. It's a district that's drawn for political reasons, and it's just most difficult to accomplish the service you need to. When I was a congressman, I had 5 offices here, and my offices were centrally located with some of the best trained people and some of the ones who could work, had experience on Medicare, on grant writing, on different issues that were important to the people in this area. I was very proud of the fact that we could respond and help people resolve most of their issues in a very quick time period. But the secret to it was having 5 different offices and having well-trained personnel. My people that were in my offices still get calls asking for help that have contacted Congressman Johnson's office and couldn't get it.
Okay, if we have time for it, this is for Mr. Wilson and Mr. Johnson. First, since you have the mic, Mr. Wilson, what can Congress do or should do to ensure the future of Social Security?
Well, one of the things that is being proposed in the Ryan budget is that it be privatized. Now, the last time Paul Ryan proposed privatizing Social Security was in 2005. All of us know what happened in 2008 when the Dow Jones Industrial